Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Kim with Creative Crafticality, and I am working on my travel themed junk journals right now. And I made this really cute tag book that can be stuck inside a little text spot in a junk journal, or it could be a standalone if you want to give it as a happy mail. You can do whatever theme. Mine is travel theme, so I'll show it to you right now. It's tied up with some vintage seam binding, and it's accordion style. It holds 4 tags. You could put more in there if you wanted, but that's how it looks there. I used some scrapbook paper I had in my stash. It's by Rusty Pickle. I don't know if anybody remembers that brand, but they do a lot of vintage style, so it was kind of cute, like an old wood painted with blue dots. And then I used some shipping tags. I altered those. Pretty simple because I didn't want them to, I just want them to be able to use for journaling or adding pictures. I have a vintage map back in the back there that I cut up into 4 panels. And then I used some more seam binding, some vintage lace, and then I used this ephemera that's from the Tim Holtz Expedition collection. And then I tied some of the seam binding and then some sari silk ribbon and a couple of the tags. So if you'd like to see how I made this, follow along in this video and you'll learn how. Alright, so here's what you need. You need a scoreboard, you need some glue or a sewing machine. I use the sewing, well, I use both actually, glue and sewing machine, but you could just only use glue. I have my distress ink. It is vintage photo and my distress tool here. I have 4 shipping tags. These actually came with strings, but I took the strings out. I have some lace. I have seam binding. I have one piece that is 3 feet long. That's to do the tie around it. And then I have 4 pieces, oh, actually 2 pieces of the seam binding, and they are about 6 inches long, and then I have 2 pieces of sari silk ribbon that are 6 inches. Those are to tie in the tags. And then I have some decorations. They're just ephemera pieces from Tim Holtz Expedition collection. This one's for the front cover, and then I have these 4 smaller pieces that will be for the inside pockets. And then I have a piece of silk that I'm just going to use to layer with. And I have some vintage rickrack here. And then you need a map or an additional printed paper, whatever you want to use. I'm using this vintage map that I have that's from a National Geographic, I believe, to put inside my pockets here. I glued them down. So let's see. The first thing we want to do, pull all this stuff off here. We want to take our 12 by 12 piece of paper, and as I said, this is the Rusty Pickle blue crackle dots, and I don't know if they even make this anymore. If I can find it, I'll link it down below. Any of the products I use here, I will put a link if I can find them. So the first thing you want to do is line your paper up at the 0 mark there, and you're going to score it at 2 1/4, 4 1/2, and then you're going to turn it once, and you're going to score it at 3 inches, 6 inches, and 9 inches. Now what you want to do is fold your paper at the 4 1/2 mark and also at the 2 1/4 mark. And this 2 1/4 section here is just to make it an extra sturdy pocket there. So you have a folded edge, so it just makes it a little more sturdy. Now what you're going to do is fold it on the left side. You're going to fold it over, and then you're going to do a mountain fold, a fan fold. Fold it that way and then fold it that way. Just like that. Now you're going to take your map or your other printed scrapbook paper that you want to use, and you're going to cut your sections that are 2 7/8 by 7 3/8, just shy of your 7.5 by 3. So I'll go ahead and do that with my map here, and I'll be right back. So I have my sections all cut out. I chose to go with this part of the map that says Italy across here, so I just went straight across and I cut at 7 3/8 by 2 7/8, so it makes a nice little border around. Before I stick those down, I'm going to ink up my paper here. Down, I realized that I scored it at the wrong spot here. I want it to be a little bit taller. See how tall that is? I think I scored it about an inch too small, so I'm gonna go ahead and score it one more time here, and that'll be fine because I can cover it up with the lace and stuff. You won't see it. So I just scored it from an inch there. And I'll fold it in. There, so it's a little bit bigger of a pocket. So now I'm going to go ahead and glue these pieces down. Real quick and ink this since I had to fold it again. And I'll go around and ink the outside. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is sew on the lace, and then, well, as well as the seam binding there. The 3-foot piece that will make your ties. So if you want to make it a little bit easier, you can put some glue. Actually, if you don't want to sew at all, just put tiny bit of glue down for the lace, just like that, and then put glue down for your seam binding. Just put a little, and I'm going to smooth it out a little bit so it doesn't look globby underneath. And then find your center, because you want this to go center in the middle. The center there. Just like that. Oh my gosh. So at this point, if you do not want to do any sewing on this project, you can go ahead and put a string of glue here and glue that down to make your pockets. But first, I want to include sewing, so I'm going to go ahead and go sew. And you want to do that at this point so you don't sew, of course, your pockets down to your back piece. So I'm going to go to my sewing machine, sew across here, and then sew up the sides. So I am going to ink my tags. I did these 3 already. I put the seam binding and the sari silk ribbon in the holes, and then I glued on the rickrack. So all I did was ink the tag, and then just made a loop and pulled it through the hole, and then stuck my ends through the loop there. And then I'm just going to use some of my glue to glue down the seam binding. You could use your sewing machine as well. And that's just a quick and easy embellished tag, not just super simple. As I said, I wanted to leave as much space as possible for pictures or journaling. And then I just alternated between the seam binding and the sari silk ribbon to put them inside the pockets. Just like that. And then the last thing is to decorate the front. I have this small piece of silk, and I'm just going to glue it down on the front. Just like that. It's just a layer for texture. And then I have this ephemera piece. It's like a little bus schedule, and I'm just going to glue that down on top of it. And I already inked around the edges. And then on the inside, I will go ahead and glue down my little ephemera pieces. Here's a ticket. This one is a hotel sign. And then this is I think it's just a luggage tag, I guess, or a luggage sticker. And this one is a hotel, little hotel sign. There. And I wanted to keep the embellishments here pretty flat because it does fold up, and this will be going into like a pocket in a junk journal or a little tuck space or something like that. So, and then how I tied it is I just wrap this around the front over there, and then take the other side and wrap it around as well, and then just tie it on the side. If you wanted to glue this book inside on one of your junk journal pages, you could glue a string here and here so this glues down, or you could like glue a string down onto your page and then glue one here, or even underneath your embellishment here. And then you could have this and it will just pop out off the page. But I just chose it to do this way. So I hope you liked this video. Give me a thumbs up if you did. Leave me a comment and subscribe, and I'll see you again next time. Come back on Thursday. I'm going to have another junk journal with me, and we're going to make a double tag pocket. Super cute, using an old geography book page and an old map. So that will be super cute. I'll see you back then. This is Creative Crafticality. Bye. God bless.